This wasn't food, this was survival. What would you eat if everything around you collapsed overnight? No electricity, no supermarkets, no help coming. There are stories hidden in American history where families had to make impossible choices just to stay alive. Some of these foods will shock you, some will feel unbelievable, and one of them, people swore they would never speak about again. Because this wasn't cooking, this was desperation. When disasters hit, the first thing that disappears is food. Not slowly, not gradually, instantly. And when that happens, people don't think about recipes. They think about survival. Across America's worst disasters, hurricanes, dust storms, economic collapse, families were forced to eat things no one would ever choose in normal life. But in those moments, it was enough. And that was all that mattered. There were times when people turned to something as simple and as strange as flour mixed with water. No flavor, no nutrients worth mentioning, just a thick paste. Families would cook it slowly over fire, sometimes adding whatever tiny scraps they had left. It wasn't meant to taste good. It was meant to stop the hunger. This was not food. This was survival. In flood disasters, when everything was soaked and ruined, people relied on whatever the water didn't destroy. Canned goods became treasure. But when even those ran out, families began boiling weeds. Yes, weeds. Dandelions, wild greens, anything they could recognize that wouldn't poison them. They would cook them into bitter soups. Children cried while eating them, but they still ate, because that was enough. During the Great Depression, one of the strangest survival foods appeared in homes across the country. People started making what they called mock meals, fake apple pie without apples. They used crackers, sugar, and water, trying to trick the mind into believing it was something real. Imagine that. Not just feeding your body, but trying to fool your own brain. That's how deep survival went. Here's what no one tells you. Hunger changes people. It changes what you're willing to eat, what you're willing to try, what you're willing to become. In some disaster zones, families turned to something most people would never consider: tree bark. Not as a last resort, but as the only resort. They would strip inner bark, grind it down, and mix it into rough bread-like forms. It tasted bitter, it felt heavy, but it filled the stomach. And in those moments, feeling full meant everything. After major hurricanes, when supply chains completely collapsed, people started eating whatever animals they could catch. Not farm animals, stray animals, rodents, anything that moved. There was no pride in it, no choice, just survival. This was not hunting. This was necessity. During long winters with no access to food, families learned to stretch the smallest portions into something bigger. Soups became thinner, and thinner, and thinner. Sometimes it was just hot water, with a hint of something floating inside. But they still gathered around it, still shared it, still called it a meal, because even the idea of food gave strength. This is where things change, because survival wasn't just about eating strange things. It was about holding on, mentally, emotionally, staying human, when everything else was falling apart. In some areas, people turned to something almost unbelievable: pet food. When there was nothing left, families opened cans meant for animals. They knew it wasn't right. But hunger doesn't care about rules. It only cares about one thing: staying alive. And then there were the emergency rations, stored away for just in case. Hard biscuits, long-lasting powders, dry, tasteless blocks of calories. People would avoid touching them until the moment came. And when it did, those dry, lifeless foods became the most valuable thing in the world. Because at the end of the day, survival is not about comfort. It's not about taste. It's about one simple thing: making it to tomorrow. Think about that for a second. Everything you eat today is a choice. But for millions of people in history, it wasn't. It was a decision between hunger and survival. So here's the real question. If everything disappeared tomorrow, what would you be willing to eat to stay alive? And more importantly, would you survive? If this shocked you, comment which one you could never try. And if you want to see more hidden survival stories, stay with me. Please like and subscribe for more survival food stories.